Today I'm going to show you how to work with gradients because it really enhances your background on your designs. So we come up to a created design. I'm just going to use a square. And so we start our design, whatever size you're going to do. We come over to elements, and under search elements, we type in gradient backgrounds. So there's a couple cool ways to do this. So we see we have some backgrounds here. I'm going to say see all. So you can look through and say, wow, this is my color. I love this. And pull it over, and you see you have this really cool gradient. So that's one way. You just pull them over, and there you have which makes it a little nicer looking than if you were just going to do a plain solid background. So you see you have all these different beautiful kind of colors that you can do. But what if you say, you know what, I really want to have a my color. I want to use my brand colors. So the other thing that's really, really cool is gradient transparent. So you look along here and it'll give you different kinds of gradients, right? So for now, we're going to look at the gradient transparent, which is super cool because when you pull one of these over, it's transparent, right? And you can see underneath it. So if we go to uploads and say, I want to grab one of my designs, well, here's me standing in the kitchen. And I kind of like that. I'm wearing purple, so I'll pull myself in here. Oh, my head's cut off a little bit. Okay, there we go. And now I position and I move this to the back. You'll see that the gradient goes right over the photo. So whatever image you put behind it, you're going to be able to see through this gradient just a bit. So that can make for a really interesting design as well. All right, so the next one I want to show you is you can do things like this, which is just ever so slightly adding a little gray to the bottom, right? Which is kind of cool. One of the things Canva does is once you use something, so say you did this and you say, oh, but I don't like purple, it gives you magic recommendations right here, which is super cool. Push see all, and you can see all the different colors that you can get here to enhance maybe that photo even just a little bit more. I wonder how that photo would have looked underneath something like this. So we'll just try it. I'll delete that. And I'll move this up here on top of that. And let's see how that looks. Pull it all the way. Ah, not so much, but let's see. Maybe there's something else that we like to add over here. Maybe it's this one. But you get the idea. I'm going to come back over here to gradient, type in gradient background. And again, you see tons of different backgrounds that you can choose from that really just make it a little bit nicer. Like that's something that's really cool. And then you start to layer other stuff on top of that, instead of just having a plain background or a plain purple background. And you can even do things like this, like again, with the magic recommendations, see all, and it gives you different variations of that same thing. So you can find one that you really love or do a variation of them. So that's super cool. And then another thing we can do is custom variation. So we want to do gradient background. Again, you can put in your color. If you're a purple girl, you can do purple, you can do pink, you can do black, right? If I just do purple, then I'll get a purple color scheme, and I might just already find one that works with my brand. Gorgeous, right? That's cool. Again, you can go to Magic Recommendations, and there's all kinds of things here. Super fun. All right. So another thing we can do is transparent gradient shapes. So we're going to see all for gradient shapes and check this out. This is super cool. And I really like these kind of gradients. Like, look at that for something. And you actually have the ability to come up here and even switch out your brand colors if you wanted to do that. So look how pretty that is. All right, so this is definitely giving you, look at, again, magic recommendations. And now we see we have all kinds of things that we can do here. So look at that. So cool. Right? All right. So you can actually change the color of these gradients. So when you click on one and you see the colors up here, that allows you to change the colors. So say we wanted to, I don't know, fool around with this and extend it off the page like that to emphasize something. I can go up here and I can say, well, I'm purple. I want purple and I want light purple. Well, that doesn't really do very much, right? So let's see. I want purple and I want green. So again, you have something like that. So that's another cool way to use it. So if you look along the top over here, you have gradient transparent, gradient shape, gradient transparent, gradient blue, gradient rectangle, gradient, all different things. You can click along here, gradient fade. So these are going to be things that are super cool. And underneath these guys, you're going to want to already have another image. So let's say we wanted to have a purple rose. And we put the purple rose here. So let's take a look at what these transparent gradients can do, which is super fun. So say I have this picture of a rose and I just want to make it just a little bit different. Let's see, we can try this one. And I'll cover it over and you can see what it does. It just kind of puts a little shadow on the side of the rose. So depending on, it kind of makes it look a little cloudy. So that's something that's kind of cool. And we can go over here again. It pops up magic recommendations. So you can see them all. So you can say, well, maybe I want to try this one and see what happens. And that doesn't seem to do too much, but it puts a little bit of shading on either side. Let's try something like this. Again, it's going to be a little bit clouded out on that one side. Okay, so you can fool around here. Again, we can do something like that, where that's kind of interesting too. Right, so you can really play around and see that you can do some super fabulous things with gradients. Have fun and create something beautiful. And feel free to share it with me on Facebook, book under Rosie Batista, and show me what you've created.